What's up, my peoples? It's the APG Sports Mix, and today we have 49er grades and superlatives from the Kansad City Chiefs game. Let's get it. Out the gate, I'm giving A++++ to my man Malik Mustafa. Yes, Malik. Don't say Malik. Mustafa. He was the only one out there hit sticking folks the whole game, giving 100% effort. Diamador Lenore did his thing too in the secondary, but Malik Mustafa came through like a bullet many a times and laid the wood on them weak ass Chiefs, bro. Like, he was out there playing football. And even Tom Brady called it out on one of the tackles, saying he was making NFL tackles. And it was so refreshing. Like, he was making tackles that we're used to seeing from like maybe 10 years ago, before they started all these rules that you can't hit people anymore, basically. Like, he was laying wood, form tackling, bringing people to the ground, wrapping up. Like, that's what you like to see, and just flying. I ain't here for the Malik Mustafa slander. Yeah, he got shoulder bumped by Patrick Mahomes. Who cares, bro? My man was playing safety, trying to guard receivers. Where were the linebackers? Where were the linemen, bro? Like, it was so obvious that he was going to run up the middle, but none of those dudes stepped up. Mustafa came from the back of the end zone and came up and tried to make a hit. Hey, bro, got caught one time, but regardless, A++ in my book. Malik Mustafa, he get the game ball from me. Malik Mustafa superlative, most likely to still be on the team next year, for sure. Most likely to be on the team once Shanahan's gone. Speaking of Kyle Shanahan, this might surprise you, but I give him a grade of a B. Shanahan actually didn't call a bad game. I put most of this on Brock Purdy, but we'll get to that later. I think he should have been more consistent with the run. I think you got to give it more opportunities. I think he's scared to give JP Mason the opportunities that he would give McCaffrey, which is a shame because I think Mason can handle it. And in the second half, you saw that. Well, that's where he lost his A, because it was working, and then he started putting it in the hands of Purdy to pass the ball. But we're not getting into that. He got a B. He called a decent game. I think he's getting a little too much heat today. I think he called a game that could have led to a win. It was smarter than it had been in the past. So I'll give him a B. Superlative, most likely to be a bus driver, because he was driving all over people during his press conference, bro. He was throwing all kind of people under the bus, my G. Deebo Samuel, grade, incomplete. Incomplete, and you were thinking about giving him F because the rumors are going around that my man was faking it. As far as Deebo, at first I was like, nah, man, like Deebo wouldn't do that. Like he wouldn't fake being sick. But then I started thinking about his first podcast that he has, Cleats and Combos or whatever. And he mentioned things saying if he made a certain amount of money, if NIL was happening when he was in college and he made more than the coach tried to tell him to do something, that like he wouldn't listen to him, and he would basically dismiss him if he ever asked him to do something that he didn't feel like doing.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll be honest. Like, if I was in college, like making millions, and a coach told me, "Yo, go make sure you touch the line," I'm like, "Nah, you tripping." Like, I wouldn't be so like locked in on touching the line, like touching the line, like starting over. Like, I probably just stand there and just be like, and I don't lie, I probably look at coach like he crazy. Like, you about to be telling me what you can't cut me.
I'm not saying that those two things actually correlate directly, but if he's already making a certain amount of money, and he likes where he's living at right now, and he's told that there might be some trade rumors going on, it's not above him to act like, he ain't feeling good. He ain't trying to play this game. Yo, we need to figure this out. Like, I can see that. Deebo Samuel superlative, most likely to go to Kyle and be like, "I'm sorry for quitting on the team, Kyle. I just didn't want to move to Arizona." And Kyle responded back to him like, "You moving to Arizona now, punk? Don't nobody play no games like that on me." But honestly, I don't believe they were going to trade Deebo anyways, because he's kind of a made man. You know what I mean? Deebo's like one of the boys. So, yeah, I think he's one of the untouchables. Fred Warner. All right, so Fred, I'm going to give him a C. He gets a C for the day because, yes, he was out there putting people in position, but for whatever reason, he was like super slow-footed. He was getting confused a lot on different routes. Like, you ever seen somebody like just learn like the cha-cha slide, or just join in on the cha-cha slide for the first time, and then the announcer's going to the left, and then they're like really delayed going to the left, then to the right, and he's doing other moves? Like, that's what Fred looked like. Like, he was waiting for the announcer to say something, and then he was just moving in the wrong direction. C for Fred. Superlative, Fred was voted most likely in week 17 when the 49ers are 3-14 to go up to the podium and say, All we need to do is look at film and see how we can get better. Brock Purdy. Well, we already know Brock getting the F. Like, he failed for the day, bro. He might need to see if he can do a makeup exam or something like that, because he was horrible. 3 interceptions, and he had time to throw the ball today. Like, he had time to make decisions. He's self-motivated, but he doesn't have self-confidence. I think he gets his confidence from the other players on the field. He gets spooked a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Like, sometimes the moment can get too big for him. Like, he does well in certain big moments, but like the biggest of moments, he ain't there yet. As a quarterback, you cannot be the reason why you lose the game. Like, he potentially took 21 points off the scoreboard for the 49ers because they were rolling near or in the red zone when those interceptions were made. Can't do that, especially not no big games. Superlative, voted most likely to move to Kansas City after he retires and has to sit down as his Kansas City Chiefs loving grandkids are watching Kansas City Chiefs games and have to tell them how the Kansas City Chiefs took $60 million from him. And that's the reason why he hates the Kansas City Chiefs to this day. And the reason why they're living in Kansas City. Jordan Mason, A+. He always gets an A+ because he always runs hard. He does his job. I think he needs more opportunities. I think Kyle needs to actually allow him to do the things that Christian McCaffrey was doing. But yeah, I think he played great. And would we please stop getting holding calls on all his big runs? Not every time, but a lot of times when he has a big run, it always gets called back, or a touchdown. He has probably had 3 touchdowns called back because someone was holding. You got to fix that. Superlatives for JP Mason. Most likely to be the next one voted into the John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan Boys Club. He'll be taking trips to the Caribbean or wherever they be going next. Watch. And I could tell, like, you know, I could tell by the way John Lynch be putting his arm around him after games and stuff. Like, they actually have a rapport. He's next. I could tell. Jair Brown, F, because every time we see him, we're seeing a receiver running past him or already past him, and he's looking upfield trying to catch him. Superlative, voted most likely at the end of the season to be able to memorize the number and the name of every receiver that the 49ers played that year because he's always busy looking at their backs as they run downfield. Next up, I was going to give it to Diamador Lenore because I always feel like he takes the game seriously. Like, he's out there about that action. So I'm giving him an A all day. And you know what? I'm going to give an A to the defense because Nick Sorensen showed they played like the game mattered today. But after being out there for, it seems like 90% of the snaps because the offense kept going 3 and out, it's like they started getting tired, you could tell, but they did what it took to win the game. So yeah, I'm going to give them an A for today because I think they played plenty well enough and gave the offense plenty of opportunities to score, and they didn't take advantage of it. So shout out to Nick Sorensen finally and the defense and playing like the game actually mattered. You know what I mean? Because forget what they were telling you all week. This game actually was a huge game, rematch or not. Like, you have to take it that way because now look at us. Now look where it left us. Like, we're not even excited for the Cowboys game. That's crazy. If we had won, boy, the momentum would have been crazy, and this Cowboys game would have been like super excited. Now we don't know where to go from here. So Nick Sorensen, superlative, voted most likely to say that wasn't me.
If a reporter asks why did they lose,
and it wasn't him
for the first time this season,
shout out to him. All right, moving right along. Superlatives, Brandon Ayuk. We're gonna give him an A for effort and also an A for ACL tear because it looks like he tore his ACL and he's gonna be out for the season. Dang shame, bro. Superlative, voted most likely to be happy that his season's ending due to a knee injury because he didn't look all that concerned, to tell you the truth, going off that field. Almost relief. And this could also lead to most likely to have a comeback player of the year award. I don't even know if they do that in the NFL, but it's possible. Who knows? I almost forgot Baby Bear Bosa. Bosa got a B. Bosa did very well in this game. He got after it. He was intense. He still runs past the quarterback way too much for my liking, but, and this might be more so on Sorensen again, they ran stunts. They put him inside and had him loop back around from the outside so he could use his speed to get around, use some momentum. It was beautiful. That's what we needed. Like I said, defense did what they needed to do to help the Niners win this game. The offense just didn't do their part. So yeah, B for Bosa. Let's see, superlative. Most likely to find Lieutenant Dan and hang out with him during the bye week. And then when Lieutenant Dan asks why you lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to go, Last but not least, got to give an A++. My man Ricky Pearsall, Pretty Ricky, what they call him. My man got shot. He was playing football months later, like a couple months later. Like, that's a bad boy, bro. Shout out to Ricky, man. His superlative, he's going to be voted most likely to be the mayor of San Francisco and use him getting shot as part of his platform to end gun violence and violent crimes. That sounds reasonable, right? Ricky Pearsall, mayor of San Francisco, for sure. Vote for Ricky and say no to Blickies. All right, so that was the 49ers grades and superlatives from the Kansas City Chiefs game. Until next week, we got the Cowboys. We'll see how this turns out. If we win this one, we have a little bit of life left. If we don't, I just feel the morale is going to drop super, super low. But I don't know, maybe we'll make some moves this week and things will get turned around. Like and follow.